Hey sis, one of the greatest legends of the black female diaspora, Tina Turner, would have turned 85 on the 26th of November. As we move through the 16 days of the International Elimination of Violence Against Women event, hosted annually by UN Women, Tina's life is worth talking about, but from a different perspective, of how black women often flourish once they leave behind the men that hold them back, as well as abuse them. The world often remembers Tina through the lens of survival only, the abuse, the violence, the escape, end of story. For the Encyclopedia of Black Women here on Notes on Black Women, I want to honour her recent heavenly birthday, and mention for the Elimination of Violence Against Women event in a different way. To remember Tina is to honour her as a woman who rebuilt herself, and invite other black women to remember this part of her legacy as the greatest. As a woman who refused to let pain only and alone be her legacy, as a woman who reminds black women everywhere that our lives don't have to stay stuck where or with who the hurt began. Tina represents something deeper, the reality of women flourishing after leaving, the possibility of becoming more expansive, more beautiful, wealthier, and confident than the world and even an abuser ever imagined an abused victim could be. This isn't about suffering, it's about what happens after the suffering. Tina was the girl from Nutbush who became her own salvation. I've read Tina's autobiography already myself, for those who have not. As a quick introduction, Tina was born Anna Mae Bullock in Nutbush, Tennessee, USA, a quiet, rural, black southern town where poverty and hardship were her daily reality. That could have been the beginning and end of her story. But black girls, as they go on to be women, have always known how to make a possibility out of nothing. Meeting Ike Turner, her first husband and abuser, changed her life, not in the way people often focus on. Yes, he gave her the stage, but Tina gave him the spark. She gave the Ike and Tina Turner duo its soul and its full packaging. This could be why for Tina, behind the stage lights, the violence grew, along with the control, the fear, and the emotional and physical abuse. The part we all remember about Tina is at 36 years old, with just a few cents in her pocket and blood on her face, Tina ran. She took nothing but her name. We've all seen the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It, and recall the fantastic job that the actress Angela Bassett did portraying Tina's experience in the back of the limo with Ike Turner. Leaving wasn't freedom. Not yet. As someone who has survived narcissistic abuse from my first husband myself, I would say for Tina, leaving after the limo scene was a bet on herself. That's something many women can understand and remember well. The moment you choose yourself, long before you know if life will even choose you back. How Tina flourished. We all know what happened next. The court battles, the other women, Ike's demise, her remarriage to a man that she knew for many years but never gave a chance to. I'd take a bet it was because he was a white man, and this is something black women of Tina's generation have been heavily conditioned not to do. To not go where love welcomes you and does not abuse you if it's a non-black man. Instead, to stay loyal to black men even through the abuse. Big mistake. For Tina, in the end, she let go of the conditioning and went where love respected her, didn't fight with her over control and submission, and probably wasn't asking her to be a traditional woman, in quotation marks, but still pay half the bills, like the modern Black Manosphere today do. Good for her. A birthday tribute to a woman who shows us what's possible. As we honour Tina Turner around her birthday, not just as the queen of rock and roll, but as a woman who rebuilt herself from the inside out, what black women can remember is her life is a testament to what happens when a black woman returns to herself fiercely, quietly, consistently, and definitely spiritually. What's key about Tina's life is what happened after she left. Ike's demise, finding love again, these are like footnotes to Tina's real story. The real story is Tina's level up. It was a comeback no one saw coming, least of all Ike Turner. This is what people don't talk about enough when it comes to Tina. The slow grind of rebuilding after abuse, the shame, the financial insecurity, the doubt, the constant question of, did I ruin my life by choosing myself? And yet, Tina kept going. Then came 1984. This was Tina's comeback year. She released Private Dancer. What's Love Got to Do With It was a #1 hit. She gained Grammys, she done a global tour and achieved record-breaking sales. Tina didn't just come back, she reinvented what a comeback looks like for Black women. She did this at an age where the music, fashion and beauty industry typically can throw away women at this age. Tina was 44 in 1984 and I was only 1 year old. If you ask the Black Manosphere today, at this age of 44, Black women are told we're too old in quotation marks or too much in quotation marks, or the one they love to tell us, we've hit the wall. However, at this age, Tina became a global success and a household name outside of the Black diaspora. Her success told a truth abuse survivors rarely hear. Leaving doesn't make your life smaller. Sometimes leaving is the first step in becoming who you were always meant to be. It was the spiritual grounding that saved her life. Tina often said, and she refers to a lot in her autobiography, that she didn't escape Ike by luck. She escaped because she began to believe that she deserved better. That belief didn't come from fame or money. It came from her spiritual practice. Around the time her marriage was falling apart, she discovered Buddhism. Chanting became a daily ritual for her, a place where she could be honest, terrified, hopeful, a total mess, and still feel worthy at the same time. For Black women especially, spirituality has long been a method of survival for us. The only thing is, it has been rooted in Christianity. This is more like a cult than a spiritual practice, and it could be argued that the Bible itself, along with the religion in quotation marks, is not designed with women in mind. It's been built on securing women's oppression, as discussed in one of my most recent essays, focused on a particular Bible verse called How Ephesians 5:22-24 is used for women's oppression. And if you are on YouTube, that video essay may pop up in the corner on the right hand side as I'm talking now. It will be linked in the description box. And if you're listening to this on Substack or reading this over there, it will be linked directly in this written essay. Tina, who was, of course, a Southern Black woman, would have been exposed to Christianity. Her life shows when you expand your spirituality past what was used historically to keep slaves on the plantation in check and to convince Black people that this is the natural order, you can see how different outcomes that are not oppressive to women can actually happen. The same could be said about her opening her options as a woman and dating different men. She met her husband, Erwin Bach, in 1985. After all she had endured with Ike Turner, she learned about soft love, the soft life, and that Black women actually do deserve this. Why Tina's story matters, especially for Black women, is because Tina's story resonates with so many Black women because it mirrors truths that we carry collectively, but that we sometimes often forget. Firstly, endurance is not an identity, and it should not be our identity as Black women. We're taught to be strong, to endure, to keep families together, to swallow pain. Tina shows that strength is not in staying through all of this. The strength can actually be in the leaving. Secondly, reinvention has no age limit. Tina's biggest success came in her 40s. Clearly, it shows she was not past her prime in quotation marks. For Black women, that's revolutionary. When we have our own men in our own community telling us you're washed up, you're not worth anything, or you've hit the wall way before you've even come to your 40s. Thirdly, healing that is spiritual is not always or should be always linked to God or the Christian church. In Tina's case, healing doesn't have to be found in Christianity. It certainly wasn't for her. Tina's venture away from this actually shows us this, and Black women shouldn't be scared to venture away from the Christian faith. The fourth thing is that softness is not a luxury, it's actually a right. Tina moved from chaos to peace, personally and then in her love life. Softness is stability, especially when it comes to relationships. A man who can and wants you to rest in softness is always worth giving a chance to, no matter what his race is. The fifth and final thing is that flourishing looks different for everyone and every woman. So for Tina, flourishing was global. She became famous and very spiritual. For another woman, it might be a safe home, a stable income, a peaceful heart. Both are valid and both are very worthy. So Black women, let me ask you a question. Where do you need to choose yourself? Tina's life shifted the day she chose herself, before she knew what the future held for her. So where in your life are you being called to choose yourself, even if the path ahead feels uncertain? The second thing is, this is about you, softness, love, and your power. Tina eventually built a life defined by peace, gentleness, and the love she deserved. For you personally, what would a soft life, in quotation marks as they call it, look like for you? Not on social media, not based on an Instagram trend, but in your real private world. Where could you invite more calm, more care, and more reciprocity? When we celebrate Tina Turner, we should not celebrate tragedy. We should celebrate rebirth, freedom from men who like to abuse women, keep them working for their own benefit, but then become jealous when their hard work shines, just like Ike Turner did. If you've lived it, you will know exactly what I mean. As Tina Turner enters the Encyclopedia of Black Women here on Notes on Black Women, her placement here is to celebrate her and her achievements, yes, of course, but also highlight how when a woman is abused, the moment she decides she is choosing herself and her children if she has them, life on the other side is far more likely to flourish, not decline, even if at first things are hard, just like it was for Tina. On the subject of abuse, I'd like to remind you about a little fundraiser that I'm doing for Black women in Congo who are currently being used as part of a war strategy by men out there. They are being abused by men in opposition as a way to make gains and win this war. It's been going on for a long time from my own research from the early to mid 90s. So if you feel called to, there is a link in the description box. You can donate whatever you can. The money goes straight to Women for Women International, and the people who are working with these women in Congo, I receive no money at all. It is anonymous and I don't know who contributes. So if you feel called to, the link is there. Thank you for listening in if you've made it this far. You may enjoy the next couple of videos that are popping up on your screen now as we close out. If you are here, if you are new and you've enjoyed it, why not subscribe? Consider that. Give the video a like, drop me a comment, let me know how you feel about Tina. Have you survived abuse as she has? Let me know at what point in your life did you decide to choose you and your children, if you have them, over and above the chaos that was happening in your life. Much love. I will catch you in the next one. The Black Woman Essayist.